Platform Sports Talk Show. I am your boy, Smooth.
And you already know who it is. It's your boy Stan, baby.
And it's your girl, Bunny.
And this is Joe.
Hey, now you know it's a big show when Joe is in the intro with us. That's how we do it here on the Platform Sports Talk Show when it's about sports.
Finish that go. Go ahead.
No. You say it becomes our business.
That was your cue, Bunny.
You're wrong with it.
It becomes our business.
You know it becomes our business, right?
And business. It tripped a little bit, but it just picked up. Okay,
Yes.
We here.
Yes, we are here.
Wait. From the other side. No.
Bam.
Now that felt, because it's on this. All
Yeah.
right. Now that felt real.
Because back in the day,
Sadal over there.
There
and
you go. I
was
totally get it. Yeah, so we have the entire crew at the beginning because we have a very big show in store for y'all. Hope y'all have had a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. If you're watching for the very first time, we appreciate it.
Welcome.
Yes, Miss Williams says the game's out here. She says hi, Fred, hi, Stan, Bunny, and Joe.
Hi, Ms. Williams.
Hey, hi, Miss Williams.
There we go. So as y'all see, we have a updated look on the screen. So when you have multiple people on, you don't see there's no black screen behind. We adding some flavor to it, representing the STL. Of course, Joe's still rocking, behind her, the Houston. But, we understand.
Forgive her, for she know not what she do.
We understand. But, yes. So go ahead for those. Oh, there you go, Yachty. What's happening?
Right, cool.
What's happening, Yachty?
Cool.
Show some love in the club. But, yes, make sure y'all go ahead.
We need more than Yachty.
Man.
I don't know.
We need Jesus and the apostles.
We need Jesus, all the apostles, and his brother, Jerome.
Dude,
Right.
Like, his
Bruh,
mama
man.
too.
What is that?
Pujols.
Stepdaddy.
Oh, man.
There we go.
We need
Show
the
out.
whole gang, y'all.
Show out, Joe. She remind me of Ben Hockman when he be doing his 10 Hockman and having the cars pull out. You know what I'm talking about, Joe?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You guys have seen the basement. You guys know what sports stuff we got in the house.
Man,
You know what, Joe, but while you at it, bring out Cardinals from the 80s. Maybe they can help with the current Cardinals. Bring out the lineup from the 80s.
Vince Coleman, let's go. Willie McGee, where y'all at?
Hey, somebody get
Bring out
Isaac from back in the day. Go.
Pendleton for all I care.
Man,
Somebody, please.
Bring back Mark. Shoot.
help me, please.
He
Help
didn't
me,
do it.
please.
Oh.
All right, but yeah, once again, y'all, for those who are watching for the very first time, thank you very much for tuning in. Go ahead and right now on your screen, like on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram. When you go on YouTube, it's a few steps you got to do. First, you got to subscribe. Click on that.
I forgot it. The
Damn.
bell.
I was ready. I was
Yeah,
like,
give me like
see?
10 seconds, I can grab it.
Too late now. We got time today. Well, later on, but right now we can't do it.
because once we go live, you will. Oh, yes. You will be notified.
There it is. So once again, we hope that y'all are having a wonderful Wednesday. It's hot, y'all.
Man, sweet.
No, it ain't hot like it was last week, y'all.
That is also true.
Yeah.
Last week was
Not
unbearable.
melting. We was melting last week.
I mean, but how about on Miss Williams said Bunny is very quiet. Uh-oh, what's happened? What's going on with Bunny's audio?
Uh-oh. I can hear. Hold on.
Do me a favor, Bunny, on your mic option. Oh, you on your on your tab. Phone. It may not have an option, but you should be able to adjust your mic volume.
Hello.
All right.
Testing it.
All right, there we go.
There we go.
All right, we good now. You sound much better.
You sound so
Gracias.
There we go. Miss Williams, let us know real quick. We want to make sure we all good in the hood. And once again, we have a very exciting show in store.
Mm-hmm.
And there we go. She said that's better. Cool. We got to make sure that with this type of show, everybody got to be on the A game. The sound, everybody, everything got to be on the A game, unlike the Cardinals. But anyway, we would go ahead and
That
continue.
wasn't a low blow. That was real talk.
Facts. And of course, we
I wasn't
have.
saying it like a love blow. That's news to me. You know, I ain't really been watching. Brother's been busy.
Hey, we understand making
Move
that
it up
money,
and out the way.
making the money legally.
Yes.
We
Yes,
have the Atlanta Hawks and the Bucks facing off very soon on TNT. So tune in We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about other things going on around the world of sports. But right
Mm-hmm.
now, we're not going to hold this man any longer. This man here is, in my eyes, and I'm pretty sure many others, is a true legend in St. Louis. I've heard him on KMOX. Uh, he all the time. He's been on 101 ESPN as a guest a lot. I had the pleasure of meeting him 2 Sundays ago at an event live at Lowe's, and it was a Dirty Mugs concert. If you didn't hear about Dirty Mugs, local band here in St. Louis, really big.
Lady Lit.
Man, definitely lit, and he was a very nice guy. Some guys you'd be like, oh no, I'm good. If it ain't talking dollars, stuff like that. No,
If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
all that. He was just very cool, very down to earth, and he wanted to be on, and things aligned right for him to be on tonight, as the Cardinals had a game earlier on today. So he's available, and we're not going to hold this man any longer. So without any further ado, Cardinals broadcaster, Mr. Mike Claiborne.
Mr. Claiborne is in the building.
Hey.
How we doing?
Welcome to the show, sir.
Well, it's great to be here. I'm glad to have a chance to be part of this. I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I appreciate the invitation.
And once again, thank you just for
Well,
taking
thanks
time
for
out.
accepting it.
Yes. Yes.
Major. This is major.
Yeah, so
We doing nothing but major things here at the platform.
platform.
Sports Talk Show.
There we go. So once again, busy day in sports. Just had a baseball game earlier. Things didn't go quite well, but we'll touch on that later on. But the first thing that we always have to ask our guests, and Bunny, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the honors.
So, Mr. Claiborne, you are the legend of St. Louis for broadcasting, writing, and all things Cardinals. But let me ask you, when and what is the first sport that you fell in love with?
Oh, that's a good question. I think growing up, I was exposed to baseball and football and basketball, but I really had a passion for hockey as I got older and taught myself the game. And then as I got older, some other people taught me as well. But I don't have a favorite sport. My favorite sport's the one I'm watching.
That's a good answer.
Really?
I like
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you did surprise me. You said hockey, at least a little bit, and I would not even think that, because put you together with Cardinals baseball and all the articles you wrote over the decades. So hockey.
Yeah, but you got to remember, I started, I've been doing this for 40 years, and I've been blessed to be able to cover, be part of every team's broadcast, whether it's the Cardinals, the Rams, Blues, you name it, St. Louis U. So I've been part of all those broadcast teams, and you have an affection for them. But that's why I said whatever sport's playing, that's the one I'm enjoying. That's the one of my favorites.
So
Okay, so 2 years from now, when the St. Louis SC Club gets on the field, can I expect to hear about you in the booth as well?
There's no doubt. I mean, I'm a soccer fan too. I have a problem with how it's played with regard to the diving and all the antics that take place. But you get it on a major level, it is an enjoyable sport to watch. It's just, I think as Americans, we want scoring. Okay, most of the rest of the world thinks 1-0 is a great game. I happen to find it very boring. And I've always felt like with soccer that we have the greatest athletes in the world in this country. Okay, we excel at everything. And I'm amazed that we haven't found a training program that would enhance and certainly encourage scoring and make it an offensive-minded game. Everybody, as I said, plays for the 1-0 win. I think, hey, I'd rather watch a team play and win 5-4 or lose 5-4 compared to sitting there saying, oh, it's a 0-0 tie, we got to go to penalty kicks. That's not exciting to me.
So going back to sports, what age would you say that you fell in love with sports in general?
Oh, I probably was 6 or 7 years old. I was around when the Cardinals won the World Series in '64. So the passion that Harry Carey had, and those games weren't on TV a great deal, so you had to listen to the radio. That was the first sport I really was introduced to, and then with time, football Cardinals had just moved to St. Louis. So, it just kind of grew over time.
Very interesting. So tell us about Mike Claiborne, the young athlete. What
I played everything growing up. And that's something that every kid in my neighborhood did. You just weren't stuck to baseball or basketball like we see now. We played every sport. Played in high school, played football, baseball in college, played club hockey in college. And, when I got finished with that, came back, played a lot of softball and, got attached to golf and all the other activities. So I consider myself a well-rounded athlete.
Well, let me ask you this, just in case for our viewers that don't know, the famous St. Louis question. What high school did you go to?
I went to a school called DeAndre's. It was an all-boys school in the city.
DeAndre's. Wow.
And it kind of spun off to be La Beret that eventually came Cardinal Ritter. At one point, DeAndre's had one of the best basketball teams in the area where they used to win the Normandy Christmas tournament on a regular basis until Vashon came along and broke that record. So it was a pretty good school. When I started there, it was like 70% white. When I left, it was 80% black. And it was a great culture change for me and certainly everybody who went there. And it closed in the mid-'70s, but it was a great experience for me then. And, we had a lot of successful people come out of there.
Awesome. Well, did you go to the DeAndre's that was the building on Clarence Avenue?
Yes.
On the side? That's where my middle school ended up becoming using that building for a while.
Oh, yeah. It's a great building.
And we've had over the last, year, a few people from Cardinal Ritter on our show. Recently had Coach Ryan Johnson, who was back-to-back state champion in basketball, Jahadi White, Lauren Wood. So it's been a nice amount of Cardinal Ritter alum.
Yeah, Chris Carrawell went there, and he's one of the number one assistants at Duke. There's been a lot of great athletes that have gone there.
Yeah, and I went to the V, so, sorry for breaking record. No, we're not sorry for
That's
that.
all right.
But
That's one of the great programs. One of the great programs in our state.
Oh yeah.
What Floyd and now what Tony Irons is doing there is remarkable. They've always had very competitive basketball, and at one time they had a pretty decent football team.
Yeah,
and that's up and coming again with Coach Will Franklin working on that as well. He's trying to build the program up like how he experienced at Mizzou. So look out for Vashon football.
I'll keep an eye out for him.
And Bunny, tell him who's someone that you know that is a pioneer on the coaching staff at Vashon.
My sister, Suzanne Goodwin, she's assistant athletic director and also one of the assistant football coaches for Vashon High School. So
Good
she's
for her.
one of the few in the state of Missouri, if any, female football coaches. So she definitely.
Now, what position does she coach?
Okay, so she's one of those. I know a little bit here, a little bit there, and I do the administrative.
So she's a quality assistant, is what they call.
There you go.
Okay, that's a
But
great
she's at all
start.
The coaching clinics. She's doing all the things, learning X's and O's slowly but surely.
All right, so I'm gonna start checking them out a little bit more then. Now that I know somebody there. And Will Franklin was a very good player at Missouri, as you mentioned. And I'm just glad to see guys like him and before him, Butler Binote and some other guys come back and be part of our schools and our community.
Yeah, we had Butler Binote on the show too. He's also he's a bishop. We call him bishop. But he is a fellow church member of mine as well. So very good guy. Very good guy.
I worked with Butler when he was playing in the NFL. I represented him when he came out of Ohio State.
Really?
Oh, really?
Wow. It's a whole lot of
that was another aspect of my career. I used to be a sports agent.
Nice.
Oh, please tell.
I represented Anthony Bonner. I represented Henry Jones locally. Leon Lett was one of my clients.
Okay.
I had a pretty good stable.
Okay, well, staying on that, what
Learn
led
something
to
new
you?
every day. I would have never thought that. Okay.
Right. So staying with that, what led to you becoming a sports agent?
Well, I was intrigued by it because I knew guys that wanted representation, and I knew an agent here in St. Louis, and he thought I'd be pretty good at it. And it was another guy who wanted to be an agent too. He said, "I'll tell you what, I'm only going to hire one guy. So whoever brings in the biggest and best players this year will have the job." And I ended up having 2 first-round picks that year. The other guy didn't have a good season. Let's just put it that way. And one thing led to another. I started to grow with the company. Had some really good deals. I also represented a player in the NHL. I was part of that representation crew. And we did something that hadn't been done before, and that was win in arbitration, which at the time was kind of a stacked deck for players in the National Hockey League. So I did that for a while, represented some really good players. But, I'm the kind of guy that once I have some reasonable success, I'm looking for a new challenge. And I moved on from it. I consulted for a while to some other agents. I'm still connected with a lot of successful agents in sports. But, I think for more than anything else, it's kind of a young man's game. And it's changed dramatically from when I started. Now, that's not to say I couldn't do it again, but it's a very challenging situation because there's so many people vying for so few people that make money. And case in point, I'll give you a quick lesson on it. Let's say you get a player that makes $1 million and you can only charge them 3%. So that means you're making 30 grand off of a player that doesn't include taxes, doesn't include expenses, travel and entertainment and things of that nature. Maybe you have somebody else that's working with you. So that pie gets reduced dramatically over the course of time. So you have to continue to get players on a regular basis that make a lot of money. And there's only a handful of those guys who make it. Most guys don't make the big money early on, especially.
So is that something that's being taught more to these young athletes as they get into the league, as they sign these big contracts, or is it something that the agent is more so trying to prepare the athlete for?
Well, it depends on the agent. And, the way it's set up now, let's say if I sign you to your first contract in the NBA, technically I can't charge you a fee because that first contract has been collectively bargained. So there's really no hard math to do there. My job is to make sure that I can find you endorsement opportunities and other things to enhance your product and try and get you to a max deal as quickly as possible. And every league is different. Every players association is different. But the most you can make off a guy, I believe, is now 4%. And that might be baseball. So there's a lot of work that goes into it. You see these guys who have all of these clients, they've really put some work into it. And it's a constant challenge because the challenge isn't getting a player, it's keeping a player. Right. Because if you're a small guy and you get a player and he hits the jackpot, he becomes this dynamic player, believe me, the heavyweight agents are going to be knocking on his door telling him that they can deliver more and they can do this and they can do that. And all of a sudden you get that registered letter saying your services will no longer be needed. And you're back to square one.
So let me ask you this. Take it back with the older movie of Jerry Maguire or the show that was on HBO, Ballers.
Yeah.
Is that realistic aspect of a sports agent?
I think there's some aspects to it that are, but it's never that much fun.
This is a lot of stress, huh?
Oh, yeah. You can get a gray hair or lose your hair. It just depends.
Wow.
How much school did you have to do for that?
That's a great question. None.
None?
I mean, everybody thinks you have to be a lawyer. You don't have to be anything. There are people who had other jobs that all you have to do is be certified. Now you have to take a test now and pay your annual fees and things of that nature. But there's no what I would call prior training, no classroom work that says this is what you have to do. You just have to follow the rules and regs of what's prescribed by the Players Association on representing their players. But there's no formal training. I know everybody, as I said, everybody thinks you have to be a lawyer. No, that's the worst thing you want as a lawyer.
So
because he's not going to legally represent you.
Gotcha.
But you're the one that goes through the contract to make sure before the athlete signs the name on the dotted line.
Yeah,
make sure all the I's dotted.
But the thing is, with the contracts, they're basically boilerplate standard contracts. Now, where you come into play is making sure if there's some incentives and there's certain wording that you would like to have in there, that's where you go to work. And maybe you want to consult with a lawyer, but you don't have to be one. And it's interesting. Most lawyers, when they have a client that has some sort of issue, they go out and hire another lawyer.
Okay.
So what we got you for? Like,
Right. That's what I'm thinking. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well,
let's change it.
you got to have a team, though. I think you have to have somebody on the legal side. You have to have a marketing person. You have to have somebody who can make sure you have proper connections with a second opinion on a medical side. So there are a lot of things that go into it that an agent is responsible for, along with managing your other affairs, whether it's financial. And most agents won't do it themselves; they'll hire somebody else to do it. But you also deal with the families, and you have to have the ability to say no, because Uncle Johnny and Aunt Lulu and everybody else who wants a loan and says, "Well, he told me to call you because you could give me the money." No, I'm sorry, that we don't work that way. So you get people pissed off at you from time to time, also.
How hard was it for you, if it was at all, as a sports agent, to separate having a strong tie with your client and keeping it strictly professional?
Not really. I was a believer in quality of an athlete compared to a guy that, because once you screw up, you'll always be one. And if you look at some of my guys, whether it's Anthony Bonner or Henry Jones, especially, two guys that had a degree, two guys that had a plan, two guys that were very family driven with regard to doing things the right way. Uh, those are the kind of people you want to represent, because they don't create the problems and some of the concerns that you see with other agents and some of their athletes. And really, when you look at sports, the problem position, if you look at sports and agents having problems, it's always a wide receiver or a defensive back. Think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Think about every year we have a quarterback, or maybe a quarterback,
too,
but it's
yeah.
normally a wide receiver or cornerback
Uh-huh.
that you see is in the news, either whether it's a contract or a domestic issue or something that makes him not attractive to other teams. You don't ever hear about offensive tackles. You don't hear about offensive linemen or defensive tackles. It's always those guys on the outside that aren't near the huddle or aren't near the main body of players. But it comes with the territory. They make a lot of money, so there comes an expense of your time and effort that comes with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because of
Let
the
me ask
position that they have, they feel like without them, the team wouldn't be where they are or could be.
Yeah, but you know what? Here's the deal: everybody's replaceable.
Right.
Yeah. Look, that's us everyday people.
Right.
Yeah, ain't no
Any
doubt,
job.
no doubt about it.
True. I'm sorry.
Let me ask you this. You mentioned earlier about the Players Association. NHL, MLB, NFL, NBA have theirs. I think, my 2 cents, the NFL's Players Association is crappy compared to what MLB's and even what the NBA's Players Association, how they fight for their players.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think they're borderline embarrassing, and here's why. The NFL player has a shorter shelf life of any other major team sports. Their body takes a greater toll than any other athlete in any team sport. They have the worst benefits. They have no guaranteed contracts, and they have the greater risk of having more deficiencies as they get older, and their Players Association has done very little to support them. That big court case of a few years ago when they thought everybody had CTE, that settlement was so bad that the judge threw it out.
Wow.
The judge was like, no, I'm not going to let the NFL Players Association accept this. You guys go figure it out. So the other thing is, these guys complain about, oh man, we practice too much. Can we get that reduced? And they say, yeah, we can reduce practice, but you're going to play an extra game.
Right.
And the NFL player always thinks he'll never be the one that gets hurt. He'll never be the one that'll get cut. He's always a guy who thinks he can get a 10-year career and retire with millions of dollars. And we learned firsthand that 78% of all the players who play in the NFL, when they retire within 5 years, are broke and or divorced.
That's crazy to me. But with the power that they have, the number one sport in this country, the billions and billions, why isn't the Players Association, first, their president? I don't know why he still exists, why the union hasn't voted him out. But number two, why haven't they pushed to get more? If they need to do a lot, they will win. They generate too much money.
I think there's a couple of reasons why. the players, the shelf life is so short, but by the time they have a foothold on having a voice, they're probably out of the league. And the guys who do have a voice have made so much money that they don't really care. They just want to make sure they can stick around and get one more check somewhere along the way. So there's a huge disparity between the two of the haves and the have-nots in the NFL.
And sticking with the NFL in courts, we all know about the lawsuit between the city of St. Louis and the Rams. How good, from your point of view, do you see things are looking for us in regards to that lawsuit right now?
Well, you got to remember something. We're dealing with the courts, so anything can happen. It sounds like St. Louis has a pretty good argument because they have enough legitimate documentation of some of the things that Stan Kroenke said and his pet squirrel, who I can't think of his name off the top of my head. They made some statements that have come back to haunt them. Now, the question is, the NFL likes to fight these things, by the way. So you just don't know how long they want to drag it out. Every time they go to court and try and get it thrown out, they tell them to go, it's not going to happen. So, you feel good about it, but I'm wondering what happens.
Kevin
should
something.
St. Louis win?
What's his name? Kevin something.
What's the money going to look like?
What is his name? What's the guy's name?
Kevin.
No. His dad was a huge agent.
Oh man, it's
Kevin Demoff.
There you go.
Kevin Demoff.
There you go, Demoff.
I don't know how you get that name.
Yeah, I called him Pet Squirrel. He was a despicable person.
Yeah, and
it's
crazy.
On, Kroenke's bandwagon, clearly.
No doubt. He
and
knows where all the
crazy
bodies are buried.
Is that there's audio of him saying certain things that was different than how they acted. Like one
no
ESPN
doubt.
played actual audio when he said, "Oh yeah, we're not gonna leave here." But you had a whole plan. But we all know about that. Which loss to you, Mike, was the worst? The Rams or the Cardinals?
With regard to what, the Rams leaving St. Louis?
Yes, and the Cardinals leaving here to go to Arizona.
I didn't really care about either one of them.
Ooh.
And here's why: because they had made their beds, and I was good, And here's what I said: I'm gonna watch more football now because I don't have a team.
Right.
I was gonna watch 5 games every weekend. So when you have a team in your own market, you're kind of limited, and you're kind of stuck with watching bad football in some cases, as we did with the Cardinals and certainly the Rams at the end. So I didn't get attached to either one of those teams to the point where I was having a pity party or burning my jersey or any of that sort of stuff. I just felt like, okay, let's just move on. See, I'm a fan of the game. I'm not a fan of teams.
You get that NFL Red Zone, you watch all the games.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, this ain't no free promotion.
Well, let's talk about another St. Louis team we lost way before I was thought of, the St. Louis Hawks. I love NBA. Do you think St. Louis will ever get an NBA team, or why do the powers that be of the city don't want us to get an NBA team again?
Well, I think you have to ask yourself the question, who has a few $1 billion?
Right.
Because, you look around, you got to have money. And I guess the next question would be, what team in the NBA is looking to move? Nobody, because they all have new buildings. They all have new TV deals. They all have luxury box setups. So the current cities that house NBA teams don't have anybody who's looking to move. The NBA is a global sport. So there's no reason for them to put a team in a bad market in St. Louis when they can take it to Europe and set up a division in Europe or Africa, which is the next place they're going to go to get players. So in answer to your question, it's out of our hands as far as us wanting a team. Too many things would have to happen for an NBA team to even remotely think about coming to St. Louis.
The last thing that I heard, which was made about a good 2 years ago, was that Tom Chaffetz, who owns the Chaffetz Arena, it was speculation that he
don't have that kind of money.
Oh, okay, there we go. I was about to say,
he don't have that kind of money.
I know that he wants.
Again, you have to have billions.
Yeah.
Okay.
But and the Taylor family put theirs to the MLS.
They put theirs into the soccer. Yes, exactly. And we appreciate that. Okay. But again, you have to remember, there wasn't a team available for anybody locally to go get. And the NBA has not talked expansion because they're coming up on another TV deal, and I believe in 2 years. So they want to make sure they have their ducks in a row. And the only
They're
reason
talking about Seattle getting a team again, right?
Seattle would probably be because they lost a team.
Right.
And that was more of the fact that nobody wanted to build them an arena. Well, now they want to build one because they've got a hockey team there now as well. So there's a reason to go back to Seattle, and it lines up with the division as far as having a Pacific division of West Coast teams.
Okay.
And
At
once
least
again,
put a G League team here. Something. I mean, nothing to get. I love Smoooth basketball. I love Mizzou basketball.
You know what? Just make sure you got batteries in your remote control. That's the only way you're gonna be able to follow them for a while.
Hey, Bunny, I'll even take a Ice Cube Big Three team or something.
Right.
Well, yeah. Well, wait a minute. You know, that's kind of gone by the wayside too. We haven't heard much about its return.
I think because of the pandemic, that kind of
pandemic had something to do with it, but I think as they looked at it deeper, one of the things everybody thought this thing was making a ton of money, and they were talking about selling it for $1 billion, and somebody pulled the hood up on it and said, "Well, wait a minute, it ain't all that." Okay. I'd like to see it stay. I think there's a place for it, especially in the summertime.
Right.
But you know, that's for somebody else with a bigger situation than I have working right now.
There we go. Well, this is the Platform Sports Talk Show. I am your boy Smooth, along with
Stand, baby.
And it's your girl Bunny.
Jobo.
And we have special
I'm just
guests.
a guest.
And the special guest.
Say your name.
There we go. He said, I'm just a guest.
I'm just here.
I'm just here. But
He just here
we
so you
do.
don't get fined, y'all.
Right.
You don't want to get fined.
but we do
Sure,
have
I'll get fine.
the legend in the building. What should I say online right now? As you see right behind him, Claib's online, Mike Claiborne. So tell us, Mike, what made you get into broadcasting?
Somebody said I talk too much. So here's what happened. I was in college and I was playing ball and I got hurt. And so one of the guys who ran the school station, Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee, by the way,
Shout out
he said, "Hey, you know, you ought to be a color analyst for the football." I didn't know what a color analyst was. He said, "Just talk about what you're seeing, man." So I did that. And then I did it for basketball. Then I had a sports show at the school station. So now I'm kind of digging this, okay? You know, radio, staying involved in sports, meeting nice ladies along the way. You know, that was helpful too.
Just keep it honest.
And one thing led to another. So when I left Fisk to come back here, I was writing for the St. Louis American. And I met a guy named Jim Holder who worked at KMOX at the time. And he and I became pretty good acquaintances. And one day he said, "Hey, man, how'd you like to come on KMOX Sports Open Line one night?" Yeah, I got nothing going. And February 7th, 1981 is when it started. And I've had one of the greatest runs that I could ever hope for, having fun. People who know me will tell you nobody shows up looking to have a good time more than Claibs. I take my job serious. I work at it, but I also work in making sure I enjoy what I'm doing, where I'm looking forward to coming back the next day.
Awesome.
Beautiful. So with that being said, as you brought up KMOX, I mean, you talking about legendary station, probably what the biggest station in the country. From
They started talk radio.
Exactly. So you're talking about the likes of course, Jack Buck, the late great Jack Buck. Joe Buck was on. Currently, his last season, Mike Shannon. Right now, you have John Rooney on, Rick Horton, etc. How did when you went to KMOX? How did that feel to you, knowing that you're going to that station and then being able to meet those guys along the way?
It's a good question, because when I started there, you could walk into our sports office, which wasn't very big, and there would be Bob Costas. There's Jack Buck sitting over there. Here comes Dan Deardorff, and Dan Kelly just left, and here comes Mike Shannon. You know, all these guys were, and Bill Wilkerson, or all these guys were in the same room, and fortunately, most of them were really good people, very kind and thoughtful, and I thought it was important for me not to say anything, just listen. And it was the most helpful thing I've ever done. And I always tell young people, you can survive in this business if you pay attention. Most people don't. Therefore, they find themselves complaining about this or that, and I didn't get a shot and all that. So it didn't work that way for me. And it was one of the great experiences I've ever had.
So my advice that you would tell some young people now, if they're complaining, oh, I didn't get a shot. How about make your own way? With all the access to technology and social media, do you think it's easier now to get your own shot in the business rather than just waiting on your turn to get into a booth?
Yeah, I think it is, because you have more avenues. You have more options. I mean, like what we're doing now is something that didn't exist 10 years ago
At all.
and certainly was not even thought about when I started in the business. So it's one of those situations that while you have these different vehicles, you have to be prepared for it. And I think there are a lot of people who think they are ready for the business that aren't. Um, we've gotten away from some of the basics. I mentioned paying attention. The ability to read and write, I think, is important. Having a better understanding of diction, where you can explain it in a manner where people understand what you're saying instead of needing a translator. There's so many things that go into it. And the only way you get better, you got to just keep doing it. You got to, as we say, you got to have a lot of reps. And it doesn't make a difference whether you're calling the St. Louis Cardinals or the Matthew Dickey Hornets. If you're getting the practice and you're working at your craft and you're paying attention and you're asking questions, you'll see some growth and somebody else will see it as well. And at that point, maybe you get a shot. The other thing I suggest to people is don't fall in love with the sport you grew up on. Because you go for an interview and somebody says, why do you think you're good for the job? Well, I love baseball. Well, yeah, I got a whole room full of guys that love baseball. So what I'm saying is try and be as diverse as you can. As I mentioned at the outset, I got into hockey, and hockey got me in the door in this business because they had enough people that were black that wanted to talk about football and baseball and basketball. They didn't have anybody could talk hockey. And people would say, man, you really know your hockey. And they really were saying, well, for a black guy, you really know. For a person, I know hockey. And I'll put mine up against anyone's. It was interesting. The other night, I was Wayne Gretzky and I were together having a cocktail, and we were just talking about the fact that he said, I think your recall might be better than mine, and I played the game. And I had a passion for it. And today I was having lunch with a former player who got a kick out of it. And I said, but I don't know how much money's in my bank account. I can tell you about the 78 Montreal Canadiens, or the last team that had all North Americans that won the Stanley Cup. I can tell you those teams are, but I don't know what's in my bank account.
Okay, let's talk about this. They're saying you had a cocktail with the great one.
See, I heard
that
too.
So
You just said it like it wasn't nothing. Yeah, me and Wayne, I'll call
That's
him.
right.
We just had a cocktail.
So I guess that's a question. I think we asked Hoffman this and Ackerman this too. But who's your favorite person or player in any sport that you've got to sit down and talk with?
That's a great question. You got to remember, 40 years, I've talked to just about everybody. But the one person that walks in the room, I would probably genuflect and give all praise to, and that's Julius Winfield Irving.
Wow.
Dr. J.
The doctor.
And here's why. He was really huge in my youth when I was in high school, and I used to go watch him play in the ABA. But the way he carried himself, elegant, sharp dresser, very well spoken, very thoughtful in what he said, never put anybody down, and he could flat out play. So I always admired him from a distance. So Bob Costas knew I was a huge fan of Julius Irving. So I had him on a radio show one time, and we started talking about the ABA days. And he said to me, Mike, I've never had a chance to shake your hand and meet you personally, but man, you really know your stuff when it comes to basketball. And this has been a pleasure for me. And we wrapped up the interview, and I'll never forget, I said, ladies and gentlemen, that was Julius Irving. We're going to take a break. I'm going to go smoke a cigarette because it'll never get better than this. So fast forward to the NBA Finals, I believe it was 94. I'm at the game because Anthony Barnes in the finals, and I'm down on courtside. I'm down on the floor. And Bob sees me, says, "Hey, Bone, come here, man. I want to talk to you about something." So I go over. He says, "Bone," that's what he used to call me. "I want to introduce you to my good friend Julius Serving." And he looked at me. He said, "Yeah, man, we had a great conversation a couple of years ago on the radio show." I'm like, "Elizabeth, I'm about to join Elizabeth. All right, I had a heart attack because this man remembered me.
Take me home, Lord. Take me home.
Exactly. So and to this day, in my office, I'm not a memorabilia guy. I have memorabilia. I have 2 photographs. I have a jersey from Julius Erving signed when he played for the New York Nets, and I have an autographed picture of Muhammad Ali. And all the other memorabilia I have stored away, but he had a real impact on me because he was just flat out cool. All right. But there's so many people that I've met in various sports that I've walked away feeling good about them being good people. There's been very few people who I thought were assholes.
All right, so
I can give you a couple of them, but most everybody.
So you just want to volunteer.
You probably wanted to be shocked if whoever you tell us.
Well, I think Reggie Jackson is one of the biggest jerks ever.
Oh, Mr. October.
I'm about to say, I can see that.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
Very interesting. So, going back to the announcers, broadcasters, the staff at KMOX, the legendary staff who's been there, biggest advice that you got from someone who worked at KMOX, who would that be, and what did they say, if you can recall?
I think Jack Butler said, "Just be yourself. Don't be me. Don't be him. Be yourself, because that's what they're going to remember."
Right.
And I've tried to maintain that because, I don't have the dulcet tones of radio. I don't have the great TV look.
That wasn't bad right there.
That wasn't like that.
Yeah, but you try and do that for 9 innings and see what happens to your voice.
Right.
I just have to be me, and I want to have fun.
Bunny.
And that's been the key for me.
Nice. Yeah. Who would you say you looked up to or you were inspired by as you was coming up as a broadcaster?
A guy named Bill White. Bill White was he played for the Cardinals. He was the first black broadcaster for the New York Yankees. He was the president of the National League when they had him. He was the second most influential African American in baseball behind Jackie Robinson. Well-spoken, still sharp as a tack. He's going in the Cardinal Hall of Fame this year. He had a lot of impact on me as a young person because I hear him be interviewed and he just said all the right things. Mike Shannon has been just incredible to me over the years. And if it wasn't for Mike Shannon, I probably wouldn't be as far into my baseball career broadcasting wise as I am. I've been very fortunate to work around people who were willing to help me. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a cologne I was wearing. I don't know, because I was rough around the edges, and I kept working at it. But I was fortunate to have people who really believed in me, maybe more than I believed in myself at one point.
Beautiful. And once again, for those who not aware, Mike Shannon, this is what, 50th year? Is that correct?
50th year. Yeah.
And his last
and for Mike, he's kind of like, for me, a big brother, a father, a teammate. He's been everything to me. And to a lot of other people. I mean, there's so many things behind the scenes that Mike Shannon has done for people. You would just like say, wow, I didn't know that. So, I mean, I've been blessed, and this is his final season. And I tell him every day when he shows up at the ballpark, I say, "You ready to have fun today?" And he gives you that grin because he knows we're about to do something special.
So let's go current, because I know that you have to leave soon. There's 2 questions I definitely have to ask you. One is, of course, what's going on with this Cardinal team right now. There's a lot, and we talked about in the pre-show, a lot of people are frustrated or mad. Based off of the post-game interview, Schultz said that there will finally be maybe some changes in the lineup. What overall, to you and your view, are some of the biggest issues with this Cardinals team?
You don't know how many times I answer that question every day, so we'll do it again. First of all, Mike Schultz is a hell of a manager. We don't have a problem with the manager, okay? This guy knows what he's doing. I've known Mike from day one of him getting in the organization, I guess 10, 12 years ago. No one's better prepared. All right. So let's clear that up. But when you are a 500 team, this is where people wring their hands and they get pissed off because, when the day you think they're going to turn it around, they crap all over themselves. If it's not the pitching, it's the hitting. If it's not the hitting, it's the pitching. It's not the pitching, it's the defense. It's always something. I think the answer is not on this team. I think the answer or the help this team needs is outside the organization, which means you're going to have to trade for somebody. You need more pitching. There's no doubt. You need a left-handed bat. And you just need guys to go play. One of the most simple things about sports is do your job.
Right.
If you do your job, then we got a chance. And in this situation, I think that we don't have enough guys who are in a position to do their job at the level we need them to be. Now, if you're the Pittsburgh Pirates, you're saying hooray for us.
Right.
But this is St. Louis Cardinals, where tradition says you have to be in the hunt every year.
Correct.
And there's time. Don't get me wrong. There's time. But I think there's some things that have to change. Maybe it's the lineup. Maybe it's some different players you want to get a look at. Although we've seen just about everybody in the organization who is big league ready, which takes me back to my point about having to go outside the organization to bring somebody in.
Do you feel that? I'm sorry, Bunny. Real quick. Do you feel that the organization has overvalued, overhyped a few guys that maybe they are not that everyday player that they thought they had?
I think that's more perception on the part of us as fans and media. They put a guy out there. I don't hear John Mozeliak saying, hey, this guy's a can't-miss player. I don't hear Mike Gersh saying that. I think that what they've been, the media might pump a guy up, and then all of a sudden we think he's the second coming of Gibson or Musial. And then when he's not, then we look around and say, well, who thought this guy was a good idea? So I think it's a perception that comes more from the exterior compared to the internal thoughts of the team.
But Mike, what I was telling Jobo on the pre-show when she was showing her memorabilia, I was like, bring back the Cardinals of the '80s to help this team out. And the only reason I mentioned that,
well, Willie McGee's had 2 hip surgeries, so he can't play. He can't run like he used to.
We don't say can't. Hold on now.
I get it, but at least if they were low scoring, we still were winning game. Like we found
but the game has changed. Here's the reason why that doesn't work. The game has changed. Whether speed is not emphasized as far as base running like it was then. The ability to manufacture runs. You got to remember now, guys sit back and wait on the 3-run homer. They don't want to try and move a guy on a sacrifice from first to second or from second to third. Guys don't accentuate the fundamentals like they once did. And that's why we have so many strikeouts. That's why we have so many walks. And that's why we have a lot of home runs.
So last week, the San Diego Padres, they opened up their stadium to full capacity, and the very first game they had, it was a sellout, packed house, couldn't find a seat anywhere. And then think about a few days before that, the Cardinals opened up, and we all thought as soon as they opened up, it's gonna be opening day 2.0, every seat filled, etc. And first game against the Marlins, it was still around 20-some thousand people. How much?
Very simple answers there.
How much?
First of all, they're playing the Marlins.
Right.
Nobody goes to see the Marlins. Okay. Not even the people in Miami go see the Marlins. The second thing is you compare San Diego to St. Louis. You have to look at the population base. Along with this, the Cardinals are a team that generates a lot of fan base from group sales, people who come from outside of St. Louis. Okay. So because these tickets just came online and came available within a week, organizing groups to come down is pretty hard to do.
Okay.
So I think you'll see after the All-Star break, we'll start to see more people come because your schedule will be better. You'll come back facing the Giants and then the Chicago Cubs. So you're going to have better teams for people to come out and see. But I think there's a number of reasons why the total was low initially, because A, you didn't have a lot of time to sell them. B, you don't have the group sale involvement. And C, I think the opponents on your schedule were not attractive.
So it doesn't
Can we
have
add
anything
D
to
to
do with
that?
on field performance though. You don't think?
Oh,
It had,
yeah, of course.
because
Yeah, I mean, people
that was my
people want to
point.
see a win,
Yeah, that was my point. Is that
but
San Diego's coming out? Everyone is seeing
San Diego's a
Machado
winning
and
ball club.
exactly.
But I was gonna
And
That's the
say,
San
point.
Diego has never won before, so everybody's excited about what's going on there.
Yeah,
They have some dynamic players. So
they
to
got
compare the
2 big
Cardinals and
faces
San
of
Diego
baseball.
probably doesn't really match our discussion on why they have more fans coming out than we do.
yeah.
But I
That was
said
my
D would be
point.
to your lineup. D would be Cardinals usually don't really get going if they're gonna be competitive until right around the All-Star break. Look at the past few years.
Yeah,
The
no, you're
schedule
right.
they're looking for. After
You're right.
All-Star, if we're gonna make a run, that's when they do it. Whether the schedule is more competitive, whether people coming off the injury list, or they finally got some fire under their feet. But I said that a couple months ago, even though I'm frustrated. But I'm still not giving up hope because the Central Division is not hard to win. All the
Are you right about that?
division is weak.
Hope right now because the Cubs, the Brewers, and the Reds aren't really playing good right now either. You know, like no one's running away with it. So
Right.
my worry is just it's gonna be we keep doing this against very bad teams, and then one of the other teams are gonna get hot, and then it's gonna be too late by the time Flaherty comes.
I agree.
And
That's
my
why you got to
concern-
get help.
And my concern, lastly, the reason why I brought that up in regards to San Diego and the Cardinals was more so: will there be a time where Cardinals fans are just too fed up to even the Giants come in town until they are confident that they are seeing a better team on the field, that they still may not come?
After
No, I don't think so. I think Cardinal fans, real baseball fans,
Yeah.
are patient.
Mm-hmm.
They understand it's a marathon, not a sprint. You're going to have the fair weather fans. But here's the thing. What else are you going to do at that time of the year?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be different if you
Exactly.
were competing against the Blues or maybe St. Louis U or something else. But there's nothing else going on. We don't have soccer yet. So this is all they got. And, but the other thing is this. We have to be reconditioned to going back to doing things we were doing before the pandemic.
Like normal.
You take a whole year off and all of a sudden you start finding other things that attract you. And I think that's one of the problems that you're running across, not just with the Cardinals, but around baseball. Very few teams are selling out right now because people have found other things to do.
Well,
But on top of that, let me ask you this. Speaking of baseball and these fair weather fans, Jobo and I always kind of go back and forth because I said she likes old school baseball, and I said the game needs to progress and get younger fans. So they're talking about speeding up the game. I don't mind when you have to go extra innings, putting somebody on second base. So what are your thoughts about the new
I think
rule?
I like the rule. I think the two rules I like is 7-inning doubleheaders and putting a runner on second base. And I tell you, if you want to speed up the game, make a guy stay in the batter's box.
that too.
Yeah.
They did it one time before, and they saw the numbers come down by about 2 or 3 minutes, and then they got away from it. Make them stay in the box. Make them swing the bat and throw strikes.
Well, Mike, we definitely have to set up a part 2 because we have a whole lot more questions in store and different sports to discuss. But thank you for taking time out for being on our show, and you have a great evening.
Hey, I just want to say, first of all, thanks for inviting me. Secondly, congratulations on this venture that you guys have undertaken. And it's great to see people doing things like this and giving fans who want to just shoot the breeze and talk and maybe learn a little something. And because of what you guys are trying to do, I tip my cap to you, and I wish you nothing but the best. And you know where to find me. We'll do this again, I promise.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much once again.
Yay!
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right. If you guys need something, you know how to find me. Reach out. Let's stay in touch.
Will do.
All right.
All right.
Thank
Take care.
you.
All right.
Have a good one.
All right, man. That was.
I should be like, yeah, I want to meet Yadier Molina. Can you hook me up?
Oh, okay. Hey. Baby steps.
Yadi.
I'll start with an autograph.
You start with nosebleed seats. Baby steps. High up.
Well, per what Fred said, Busch Stadium kind of got a lot of more openings. We don't need nosebleeds. We can go probably
No, that's where you
right
start.
around the club suites or something.
No, you start at nosebleeds. You start at the cheap seat. You got to start humble. Then you work your way, down.
Hey, we coming off a pandemic. We getting access to stuff we probably wouldn't get as close to for good prices. So
I don't know what you talking about. We had great seats before the pandemic. Great seats.
Miss Williams says that was a great interview. Thank you
It
very
was.
much,
It
Miss
really
Williams. She says she's not convinced there's a market for an NBA team in St. Louis. A lot of people saying that like this is not enough room, especially with us bringing in MLS. Like that probably would like seal that door.
That killed it. If I want to be
But
honest
no,
with you.
I don't think that killed the door. Again, I don't have money. I don't have the power to do
Are you
it. I don't
sure?
have the political influence.
Are you sure, Bunny?
However, hey, when I get the lottery winnings, y'all not gonna see or know me, okay? I'm gonna change my whole appearance.
What?
So that hasn't happened.
You like that towards your people's, Bunny?
That's
to
what
us?
you gonna do. That's what you gonna do.
Y'all already know.
Wow.
If I come with a different accent, a different skin color, a different height.
All right, Michael.
Okay?
All right, Michael Jackson.
Lord.
I'm just saying. I'm gonna put a semi-sauce on y'all. Y'all ain't gonna be ready. But now I'm just saying though, with regards to the basketball,
Did you really just
a lot of times, like you said with baseball, you do group sales. A lot of your tickets are not just from individual people, it's corporations and businesses. So MLS, they already sold their stuff out as soon as it went on sale within the first day. It's not the same season for basketball and MLS. You just will have to market it and get the right people. Like I said, we can do a G League team. That's still a start. Because there are some cities that are much bigger than us that have both NBA and a G League team. But overall, if you build up the market base, bring the exhibition games back. Y'all remember we talked about this a while back? When we had the big MLK holiday tournaments, Normie tournaments,
Right.
we also had exhibition games every year for NBA in St. Louis. And it just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new generation.
Wow.
Here.
Wow.
If y'all
Wow.
talk about younger talent, younger people move to St. Louis for jobs. We got our little Cortex. We got other techie type jobs in St. Louis, and the cost of living is not expensive. You can get a different group of people attracted to it. So don't always look at just your homebred, but the people that move here, see if they could be interested in it.
And it's funny that we're sitting here talking about bringing a team. They just showed an old clip, a 60-year-old clip, mind you, of the St. Louis Hawks, and that was the last time they were in the NBA Finals when they were here. See, good things happen here sometimes.
Sometimes. Once again, this is the Platform Sports Talk Show. Yes, we started this show early at 6:30, so we can accommodate our special guest who was incredible. Like he was talking about the stories when I'm referring to Mike Claiborne. I was just looking forward to the stories. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we talk about the Cardinals, what they're doing now, but just hearing the stories, to be able to say that you met Dr. J, that you just having wine or a drink with Wayne Gretzky.
Just drinking with Gretzky.
That's all.
That
just
blew my
living the
mind.
life.
He called him Great
It's
Goose.
the same thing with like
Right.
Ackerman
Great Goose
and
Gretzky.
Hockman though. They've had a lot of good stories about their younger lives and then meeting people and players throughout the sport, like throughout their career. So it's that's my favorite part of having these people on. It's just lots of the stories.
I'm just glad I heard about his sports agent background. I would have never known the thunk that he did.
Yeah, I did not know about that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And then, like I said, to be able to work at KMOX, and every day you coming in and you seeing
Just greats.
Greatness.
Just walking in with legends.
like he brought up Bob Costas.
Yeah.
Like I could have brought that up earlier, I forgot. But Bob Costas and a who's who of talent has stepped through. But like
Bob
I said,
just sitting over there.
yeah,
By the cooler.
that's it.
That's
I
just
guess
Bob.
we get spoiled here in St. Louis to have some famous broadcasters and writers of sports that are, right here.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up with them.
We are. That's like people say, like it may not feel like it right now because everyone's upset with how the Cardinals are doing, but we've been spoiled as Cardinals fans, and we've been spoiled with not just baseball announcers, but just sports announcers in general. So many have come through here, and they're all legends.
When Shannon retires, they already have his permanent replacement. I know they're doing rotation.
That's
right
what
now.
I want to ask Claiborne, but we didn't have time, so we gotta have a part 2 on that and see what he says on that, because I had a lot of questions about that, but we definitely will turn back to that. Real quick, let's go right back to our normal schedule of events on the Sports Talk Show. The first thing I want to go ahead and bring up, Joe, while we are at it, is of course we still have the NHL playoff, and that's not it right there. The NHL playoffs going on, and right now, as you see on the screen, Montreal, Vegas, New York, Tampa Bay. What's going on with these series right now with the Islanders and Tampa Bay? It looks like the Islanders are the Lightning are 3-2? Is that correct?
Up 3-2.
Yay!
They're in New York today. I'm hoping the Islanders pull it off, push a game 7. Lightning just whipped their butts last game. I think it was 8-0, which is just crazy. But so tonight, Habs took a 3-2 lead last night. I'm hoping for the Habs versus Islanders, but I know that's not what the NHL wants. They want the Knights and Tampa. But these series have been a lot closer than what people thought they were going to be. They were thinking that the Lightning and the Knights were going to, just pounce all over the other two. But these have been really fun, exciting series.
And
I'm rooting for the Lightning. I mean, I don't know anybody like that on the squad, but I think
Pat
that
Maroon.
because during the end of the regular season, they added some diversity to their lineup. They added some black players got to start on there, and I thought that would be a good organization to do that.
They got a full line of black people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then what about the other side, Montreal and Vegas?
I want Montreal. That's the Habs. Go Habs, go. They're just a young, exciting, fast team. And Carey Price, you can't not root for that guy. And then they got Jake Allen and Joel Edmondson. So they're up 3-2. Like I said, they won last night in Fortress. They've taken 2 games at the Fortress. So if they could just win one more back in Montreal, that'd be awesome.
All right. So the next thing I want to discuss, and she's definitely been a highlight. We talked about Simone Biles a few weeks ago, but let's talk about right now.
And you better get her name right.
Go ahead and say it then.
Sha'Carri. My baby. Sha'Carri Richardson. My God. That's a magical melanated woman right there.
The other Simone Manuel. It's Black Girl Magic all around on our timelines, y'all.
Yeah.
There's some girls that are bad headed to the Olympics.
We talking about, some people are calling her FloJo 2.0. I think she's gonna. I think with where she's at right now, she's on a good track to pass her up.
Yeah, so she's definitely. Yeah, Stanley says FloJo 2.0, so he agrees with you. But she's definitely making waves, and we love to see the confidence that she has while she's running. After she's ran,
it was the
before
point.
she ran.
It was the pointing at the screen like, there. I love it. I love to see it.
So
you know what I also love to see with her being so great and dominant now, that she can compare to FloJo, because a lot of people of the generations 10 years, 20 years, 30 younger than us don't even know who FloJo is.
No, forget FloJo. Let's take it way
and
back.
And in St. Louis sense, don't even put the connection with JJK and FloJo.
Yep.
That's because she's from the east side.
I love that video for her going to her mom, though.
Yeah.
Giving her a hug after running. That was awesome.
Stanley says black girls are dominating land, sea, and air.
Yeah.
Doing the damn thing.
That's what's been on our timelines. I'm here for it.
So once again, congratulations to her. She's already made history. World records, everything.
She's at like what, a 10? I know one race she ran a 10.84. And then the other one, it was faster than that.
And you fast when you point into the clock, like that's when you got it going. It's kind of like with Simone Biles. It's to the point where she's so good that even somebody else's best may not even compare to what she's doing. And speaking of which, her along with other gymnasts, they are here in the Dome this weekend.
St. Louis, baby.
Yes, highlighting everything Olympics in St. Louis. So shouts out to them.
Apparently
but going back,
from here too.
really?
One of my buddies, one of our best friends, he's sets up stages for events and stuff like that, and he's finally starting to work again now. But he saw Simone Biles in the parking lot today. He was pretty excited about that. Sent me a Snapchat, so I saved that. That was cool.
So, Bunny, your brother says, I feel she's bringing positive attention to women's track because last serious attention we had in female track was Marion Jones, and she's been DQ'd. Now,
no, not necessarily.
Allison Felix.
No.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Allison Felix is doing it. She's going to be her last Olympics this year.
Yep.
And unlike the men's Olympic track team, the women's relay team does not get disqualified. The men do. Women got it together. We got our gold from 2016 to prove it.
Shots fired.
Hey, don't come for us women, baby.
Shots fired.
No, I'm ready.
So, Bunny, with that being said, because I brought on the positive side of, what's the name?
Sha'Carri Richardson.
The negative side,
whatever,
and which
whatever.
This has been a problem too much especially amongst us as the black community. But there was a post on Facebook, and I'm pretty sure other people, this guy saying, "Oh, look at her. She like a man. She probably a trans, transsexual. All this stuff." It's like, as soon as we do something great, it all has to be our own to tear each other down, and it's so frustrating. So you as a young black woman, Bunny, seeing something like that, you know what I'm saying? Young, beautiful
Damn,
black
you ain't
woman.
gotta put it in. Damn, you just put it in air quotes. That's it. Yeah.
There you go.
ain't
Hey,
have to do all
because
that.
she is young.
You,
You know what I'm saying?
Then don't put it in air quotes. Then say it normal.
Don't make it worse.
Hey, I'm not knocking him. That's so you can put an asterisk next to him. It's all good.
Damn it, Bunny, I'm on your side. What are you doing?
But just every time it seems like we are making great noise, making positive things happening, it's always our own that wants to try to find fault. Why is that, and how frustrating is that? Once again, as a black woman.
Well, you say, why is that? That's with any other press when people talk something negative when somebody's doing something positive. If we as a people who are on social media and see these comments don't inflame it by adding or commenting all that, if we don't give them the attention, we don't even have to worry about it. Haters will always be there, you all. Y'all know that. So don't give them the attention. I don't care what you say she look like. And we worry about what her accomplishments are. The other spinoff I thought you were going to mention about with the black community, what kind of was trending on social media, because of the track team from North Carolina A&T, they're going to the Olympics as well. But when people want to break down, they're all not from America. One was from Mexico, one's from like Jamaica. It doesn't matter what country. If you're representing from the African diaspora, we're taking you. We root for everybody, okay? And so whether you say she looks like a different quote unquote transvestite or whatever, it doesn't matter. Don't add fuel to the flame. Let that person be ignorant on their own, and let's keep pushing and promoting the positivity. This girl is flaming on that track. We talking about FloJo again, because like I said, a lot of generations, or a couple generations under us don't know her. Now they're like, well, who is she? You can aspire to be her. This will bring up, like I said, JJK. So JJK and FloJo are actually related via marriage, but still, bring it back to something positive. We know what East St. Louis is known, what? The city champions. From JJK to Dawn Harper to other phenomenal women track athletes. And let's just keep that message going. Don't add to the negativity. I mean, It's always going to be there. It's going to be above it. Let's go.
Always that hater everywhere, man. And it's got to be that hater.
Right, but we just look past it.
Rise above it, keep on
Well, shoot,
flexing.
it's even like that Vanderbilt goalie that was a kicker for the boys.
Yeah.
Right.
Everyone had something bad, negative to say, so obviously it's always going to be like, it's sad, it's never going to change probably, but the race part of it's that, and then girls, they can't be great without guys downgrading them, so it's whatever. Like you said, don't even try to comment or anything like that. I just bite your tongue and laugh about it or do your thing, and that's that. I don't even comment or
Exactly, because it's going to be more of us talking about what she's doing when the Olympics come next month, and she's on the relay team or other women on the relay team, how we try to break records, working through a pandemic, make sure you don't get sick, and represent your country. And that's all we need to be hearing, the narrative. Forget what you look, I don't care if her hair was orange, red, blue, or rainbow. Baby, if you fly with your multicolored hair, okay?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just let
We're
it be
trying
great.
to break records.
So we have a few comments. Miss Williams says, as if women can't be strong and feminine. Then Stanley says, nobody that is happy with themselves will go out their way to hate on somebody for something so small. And Miss Williams says, even when I was growing up, people would accuse strong female athletes of being lesbians, cross-dressers, etc. Then she says, I hide posts like that from my feed so they don't get my attention on my feed. Another big fact. Then Stanley says, one time Gabby Douglas she got hit on because of her hair. Like, really? Who the hell cares?
She did.
Bruh.
Because she was just on the last Olympic team and that was the narrative people were running with. But she was one of only 2 blacks on that Olympic squad. And so that's the narrative somebody had to squeeze and keep talking about adding flames to this. And we know that wasn't relevant. That's why I said people got to be smart about it. Don't add to the negativity, and it's going to be there. But we want to talk about something positive. You talk about what Gabby had to do to sacrifice to get on that Olympic squad. Sacrifice how many black women don't even get to make it, and she did it. She beat odds. So let's keep that going. I
Right.
don't understand why people want to keep into man, whatever. They jealous. Are you where they are? No. So shut up. Did you put the work in? Did you train hard? No.
Mm. But then be the first one upset if it was their cousin that's getting treated that same way,
Man.
or a
Man.
sister, or whatever, or mom. You know what I'm saying? So
Man.
yeah, it's crazy.
It's just y'all know how this talk is. I mean, we as general media journalists, whatever, you can talk negative about somebody what they're doing in their craft itself. When we going on appearance, or we talking about stupid stuff that's not relevant to their craft, what they're doing, or how if they're degrading somebody else, we may not like that. But looks and appearance, come on, you all, because we can talk about plenty of men whose appearances aren't all that. But we don't do that because nobody's like quote unquote cares. We look about what they're doing on the court or how they making somebody money.
Damn.
And it's never fair, and we know life is not fair. That's why I said whatever. Let's keep this moving. Change the narrative back to the positive. Okay.
Yes, that's right. Speaking of positive, something that I found out about yourself, Bunny, that I didn't know about until after that boxing match, which shouts out to Box Culture for allowing the platform Sports Talk Show to be there. Bunny and I had an incredible time.
It was fun, y'all.
Man, we had an incredible time. The video, the interviews are up. I'll be having some videos of the actual boxing matches very soon. But we were treated like royalty as soon as we stepped in. They saw us setting up. They were amazed by the professionalism that we had, the great interviews that we had with people. And Bunny, once again, shouts out to you for putting in the work with me, getting everything set up and broke it down. You was a trooper. You didn't say nothing like, "Oh man," no, you was like, "Oh, what I gotta do next?" So, so you was into
put me
it,
in, coach. Put me in. I'm ready.
But yeah, shouts out to Box Culture. Shouts out St. Louis versus Everybody Part 2. It was just an incredible experience, and we look forward to doing many more in-person events like that. I know Stan, he was out of town, but he wanted to be part of it. He looks forward to
I'm here for the next
some future shows. Hopefully we can do something baseball or hockey related. You can have Joe come on out, when she's ready.
And Joe, you can bring up baby Joe at the boxing match. There was a lot of families there. Infants, toddlers, kids.
Yeah.
I mean, people had their families supporting them. I mean, you felt that in the building. It was a great, great atmosphere.
Yeah. So once go on our YouTube page and just check out the interviews we had. It was incredible. And once again, pretty soon I will have some videos from different matches. We saw about 19 matches, but they were all exciting.
Yes.
It was like three rounds, 3 minutes each, right to the point. So it wasn't like no dull moments. It was just a lot of action, and it was just good to see St. Louis come out and support and have a good time. But once again, after the show, after the boxing matches, Bunny, it was some information that I didn't know that maybe I should have known, but I didn't know about you. That I was like, oh, wait a minute. So did you want to go ahead and bring out that announcement yourself, or did you want to wait on your own turn?
Oh, you talking about the announcement that how I used to be a color commentator back in college?
Something like that.
No, he's so silly. It ain't even that important.
What?
And I say that only because listen.
If I know what you're gonna say, it's definitely important.
Right.
No, when I say that, because telling the news, okay, but I got a lifetime to raise this baby, and she ain't part of the show just yet. Well, she gonna pull a sash on y'all eventually, but right now we just gonna do me till she get here, and then boom. Then I'm gonna do double duty and keep it moving.
So with that being said, y'all, that means that she's pregnant.
That's all. I mean, I'm like, man, because I got some goals and things I'm looking down the road. So I'm like, yeah, she come on, and then we gonna get to moving to these places here, go to another boxing match there,
Oh yeah.
Keep moving.
The party don't stop, right?
It doesn't. That's again when y'all talking about women. Did y'all see the video after Shakara ran, and her and Allison?
Mm-hmm.
They was on the track with their little two kids.
Mm-hmm.
They had them talking and hugging each other.
Yeah.
Like that kids are like the same age and no more than like 2. I thought that was so cute because women have babies, and still keep training, get back at it.
Did you have any words then?
I sent her my message.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know this was happening on the air. I'm like, damn. I'm just like, oh, okay. You got an announcement? Whoa!
Here it goes.
Lord.
Just like that. But now, congratulations.
I'm excited, man. You're like the third person in the last month that I found out's pregnant, so it's exciting. More babies.
Funny thing, I read an article today. The U.S. population is declining by 4%.
Wow.
And now people ain't making babies.
No, I'm gonna shut up.
I don't know, with the pandemic, I felt like everybody's mom.
I thought it would have been too, but apparently it's going opposite. I guess enough people couldn't hook up in person at their little.
Sorry about that, y'all. Lost our connection, but we are back. I know that. Let's see.
Can we talk about what Joe Bo just brought up?
Yeah. So going back to earlier. Well, yeah. Go ahead, Joe. Then we'll continue on. What were you telling Bunny about the story?
Yeah, so I was just being Bunny. We're talking about the foreign substance check started on Monday. Monday was fine, but then yesterday there was some drama, and so in the rules, it's the starter's supposed to be checked twice, but it's always in between innings, and then the silly thing is that the opposing manager, can ask the check whenever they want. And Max Scherzer was in the third inning, had a runner on first, 1 out, and Joe Girardi wanted him to check again to slow down the pace of play, for one. That's idiotic. And he said that he kept touching his hair. For one, if you see Max Scherzer, half of him's balding, so and they literally, like, how awkward is it to be an umpire to go in there, and he was like doing a lice check on the freaking field, pretty much. That's what it looked like. It was, and then Sergio Romo was like doing the Dwight Schrute, taking off all of his clothes and like putting his arm.
Right. You got people stripping now.
It's I don't know, baseball, man. Love the game. The MLB's a joke.
It's
I've said that before.
it's just a way of how they're enforcing things in which it could have been enforced better, and now it's making it look like a freaking clown show. Like I said, you got guys who pulling down their pants in front of kids at the games. I mean, literally.
Well, no, they showed Andrew Miller. He was like doing this, like lifting his because they're checking their belts and stuff. And like, I get it. For one, I don't think they should have started this in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
I just think that's silly. But then, Kershaw said something to where, kind of like in hockey, hockey, if you use a review and they were onside and not offside, then you get a 2-minute delay of game penalty. Something needs to happen to where, if you're going to sit there and stop the pace of play in the middle of a game, in the middle of an inning with a runner on and out, you got to do something. You got to be like, all right, you lose a review, you lose something, because that's just...
I just can't believe baseball's that far behind. Couldn't even realize that you got to penalize somebody if you're going to let them take time to stop the game. The whole point, because we look at this in the NBA, they're getting on my nerve with that too. Watching yesterday's game, the NBA has a rule. When it's 2 minutes or less of the game, you can review the calls like fouls and all that. And it slows the game down. And then some stuff is so obvious it don't need it. But you can you get 2 challenges. You put limitations because no matter if it's a fast action pace game like the NBA, we still don't want to keep seeing action stop in the review because they don't review in 30 seconds. They're reviewing 2, 3, 5 minutes sometimes. Like, come on. And that's an unfair advantage to the team. That's unfair because that's an extra timeout. Like, you doing strategy, and it's like, wait a minute now. You mess up the flow and all that. So back with MLB, I can't believe, like you said, it is in the middle of the season. But number 2, you're not penalizing opponents to where you can challenge many times as you want. Are you serious?
Yeah, so every at bat, if Joe Girardi or will you go local, if Mike Schilt wanted to, in between every at bat, oh, so and so went to his head, so I want you to go out there and check him again. Then that's slow. I just don't understand it. I don't know what Manfred's doing, and it's honestly you keep seeing it on Twitter. I think there might be a strike again after this year with the new CBA coming up. The players in the league are just at it right now, and it's just, like I said, it's depressing. That's all it is. I love the game of baseball, love watching it, but with how the game's going right now, it's bad.
What happens on Manfred's what they call it, rules and regulations committee? Who would have thought that it's so bad that you want to wait until the middle of the season to implement this type of rule? And y'all know all the stuff with steroids and all that happened. Y'all wait till off season, come up, draft this, tweak it. There's no room to tweak it right now in the middle of the season. You know how the other rule changes they've been doing? What did I tell you? They're doing in the minor leagues. You could have started there for all I care. I'm just saying.
Well, the problem is that they keep on seeing these numbers decline in regards to production, and they keep trying to emphasize making the game more watchable. So they're trying to they're trying to go ahead and take these measures now. Itself, for like you said, it could have been done more. It could have been enforced more in the preseason or off season, doing spring training. But because they keep on saying these declining numbers, and then after what Mike Schilt said, after he got pissed what happened to Gio, 3-4 weeks ago, baseball saw how it was being highlighted with this foreign substance, so they had to go ahead and do something right away. It's something just letting it still be a sore thumb. But like I said, just the way that
so crazy is Bauer has made multiple videos on his blog about the sticky substance 2-3 years ago. And everyone follows his stuff. There's been articles written about it years ago, and now they're going to wait until the first quote-unquote normal season that we've had since 2019 and almost the All-Star break to do it. It just doesn't make sense. It's ridiculous.
Oh, Stanley Goodwin says an Astros fan is voicing their opinion about Checker for cheating.
As if every other team wasn't doing it. So
I mean, not that, but y'all cheating was on a whole nother level.
Whole level, like I said, I think I said it before. It's the only reason why the Astros are highlighted and the poster child's because there's trash cans involved. Other teams are using other stuff, so it's whatever.
No,
I'm over it.
So silly
because they got caught.
Your brother's silly. Yeah.
Then he says,
but he brought up a good point.
Go ahead.
You see that his last comment.
You go ahead and read it, Bunny.
He's talking about the last 90 seconds of the Suns game took 33 minutes, and that's what I was telling her. As far as when you have the challenges, or you can review plays with less than 2 minutes, you still need to put a cap on that. Even like, come on, it shouldn't take all this to review plays, because at this point, I know we need referees, we need officials, we need umpires, but we got all this damn technology, and y'all can't figure this out in 30 seconds. You get rid of that technology or get rid of the refs. Something got to give. But this is definitely not how I want to finish in these games played or all these reviews happening. You prolonging it, it's not necessary.
Well, I think it was Sunday. What game was it? I don't even know what game we were watching, but there was like 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. I was like, so how much longer of this game is there? It's like 15, 20 minutes left, you know? It's like football. I hate that.
I mean, well, in all honesty, you got to remember there were so many years of people saying, oh, they missed that foul. If they would have called that, the game would have went a whole different way. Well, now they're taking the time to call these quote-unquote missed fouls, and there's still complaints.
You can't win.
But it's like that. It's like with baseball review, too. So there's clear as day is that all of us can see with our two eyes that one call, like that they were safe, and they called them out, and they sit there and waste 5 minutes, and they still get the play wrong. I just don't understand it.
Or they'll say not enough evidence to overchange it. To overrule it. Something I thought about. I wanted to ask Mike Claiborne, but once again, I'll ask him when he comes back on the show because he will be back. But Joe, a few years ago, before Acuna, before Lord, what's his name? Ohtani, before Tatis.
His voice sounds different.
Who,
Fred?
Yeah.
He sounds fine.
Okay, so it's me then. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Shoot, y'all okay, Bunny?
If you hear how you sound on my end, you're gonna be like, "What is this dude on steroids? Why he sounds like
he's on steroids?"
You were sounding kind of muffled.
Oh no,
how do I sound?
I don't know.
How do I sound?
But no, once again, how you have the Acuñas, how you have the Tatis Juniors, the Ohtanis, these other new guys coming in. We haven't heard a whole lot from guys like Bryce Harper anymore. Has his window of shine left now all of a sudden? Because it's just been real quiet these last 3-4 years now.
What, just for Harper?
Yeah, like Harper, Machado.
He's hit a home run in back-to-back games already. But he's been on the IL a couple times this year, but it's okay. It's Philly, man. Philly's weird. Okay, like Hector Neris has blown 3 of his last 5 outings, so that's going to be obviously the main topic. That game was 13-12 today, so Harper, I still think he's doing his thing, but Manny Machado I can see, but he's kind of been on the IL, and he's got Tatis there, like he's got another start. Mike Trout's the best in the game, but Ohtani out over,
Because it's like, 5 years ago, all you heard at first was, Trout and Harper, but it just seems like this new wave of talent, which has been incredible.
Getting older, though. They're getting older, you got to think, Trout and Harper have been in the league for about 10 years now. It's hard to believe, but I remember being in high school and seeing Harper on Sports Illustrated magazines. So, it's, they're just getting older, and a new wave of talent's coming in, like the Acuñas and Sotos.
Yeah, it just
amazing. If Harper if he was healthy or on another team that's more competitive, you definitely would still hear him. They're still gonna market him with All-Star come. Well,
no, he ain't.
All-Star team depends, how to. But
that shit for sale.
I'm just saying, but you still gonna not throw him to the wayside. He's still there. It's just.
Harper's still doing his thing. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, he's homered in back-to-back games, and he's still doing his thing.
He just need to be on a more competitive team. After so many years, and like you said, you got these other stars that are on competitive teams. You're still relevant, but it's like people actually want to talk more about the buzz. You're gonna make the highlight reel more when your team is winning more.
Well, right now,
the Yankees, they always get the Yankees love, no matter if they're crappy. They get some on my nerves, but.
Right now, Joe Girardi's, all the talk in Philly, with how much of a clown he is. So, the managers get more talk than the MVP is, so it just depends what's going on that day,
Yeah.
Especially Philly sports fans are crazy.
But you know what? Funny, Cal. Fred brought that up because and the talk this week in the NBA of is Kevin Durant now the quote unquote star, and it has the torch from LeBron been passed on to KD. Now, it's funny they want to compare and bring this up when KD just, unfortunately had to take a team by himself, farther in the series, and they still lost. So he's not playing right now. Neither is LeBron, but yet they're talking about this. We got some good other players and teams still playing for a championship, but they're talking about passing the torch already. Season's not even over with.
Here we go. The stage.
I don't think LeBron's time is over with either.
The stage is yours, Stan.
Hello, people.
You have so much tonight.
Y'all remember me? Hold on. Let me get my 99-cent Arizona for this.
Oh gosh.
Smooth. I know it's been a minute, but can I get 5 seconds?
Go ahead.
I told y'all, motherfuckers.
I'm scared.
Nah, don't be. That was all. As far as passing the crown to Kevin Durant, when LeBron was in a similar situation, I remember as if it was yesterday. It was the first year without Kyrie, right? Going up against this loaded Celtics team. Took it to 7 games. LeBron pulled through. 7 games. Brooklyn Nets, Milwaukee Bucks. Kevin Durant is at home. I mean, LeBron's at home too, but that was a super injured team. You can say the same thing for the Nets. So they're both at home. If LeBron didn't get injured the way he did, they probably wouldn't be at home.
If AD wasn't injured.
Yeah, which means, unfortunately, the Suns wouldn't be going on this historic run, which I'm really enjoying to watch now. But this ain't about them. This is about them Brooklyn Nets who are sitting at home like I told y'all they were going to be for the same reason that I told y'all it was going to be. I said it was going to be either one of them 3 or all 3, but it was one. So, James Harden, buddy, it's on you. There's
Rockets got that number 2 pick.
You said what?
The Rockets got the number 2
The
pick.
Rockets got that number 2 pick because of Harden.
All I'm saying is there's no way that throughout an entire regulation game and overtime, your stat line is 20-something points. What was it, 21? James Harden came through with 21 points, was horrible from the field. It just wasn't his game. So if that's the case, then Durant should be able to step up and lead his team to victory, right? That's what everybody was saying. That was the thing. If LeBron can do it, Durant can do it. He's a way better player than LeBron. LeBron would have got that done without overtime. Let's be honest. Can we? Can we be honest? LeBron would have got that done without overtime. So right now, since the situations were damn near the same, I just need all this KD is better than LeBron talk to stop. Just let it go. There's no more. He was set up, like I said, he was set in this situation to exceed, to show that the Brooklyn Nets were this team, that they were going to take it all the way, like all these bandwagon Net fans said they were going to do. Ooh. But guess what? They're right where they've been since they got to Brooklyn. They're sitting at home watching another team in the playoffs. Just because they got a little further this time doesn't make them the better team between the two. So let's just stop it.
The shots fired.
Let's just stop it. Let's go ahead and the only comparison that I'll allow between the two is who gonna have to go bald first.
Oh.
And right now, Kevin Durant seems to be holding a strong lead.
He's leading that race.
It's like that's crazy because LeBron had a head start.
So that's a good one.
I was hoping he was gonna catch it. I was hoping he was gonna catch it.
Wait a minute. Who had more of a head start, LeBron or the Phoenix Suns, Bunny?
Hey.
Who had more of a head start?
I just want to know how that worked.
Y'all never answered my question. Was it the same chick this year that was the one last year?
Was it?
Yeah, it was. Yep, same girl.
Same
girl.
Oh damn, we on a roll today.
Can we talk about that real quickly?
Can we talk about what?
Let me get. little blonde hair. What would make
as
y'all
fast as
guys
she was.
not care?
Huh?
Say what?
Huh?
What'd you say, Bunny?
What would make y'all guys, knowing that she has had exercise with her mouth on so many people and doing it again, and make y'all like, oh, that's cool. Like, what?
I mean, well,
I don't get it.
Hey.
Like, we talking about the group that's always together, and y'all don't mind, girl. I'm a loss for
the equation is sure proof, I guess. You know, it works.
If it ain't broke,
it ain't disease proof though. It ain't.
Oh my God.
It ain't COVID proof.
Oh my God.
I don't get it. It ain't meant for me to get. That's that. Let me just leave it like that and keep it moving.
Hey.
There's a lot of things broken.
I have no answer. Let's see. Stanley says the difference between Miss Right and Miss Right Now.
But for, again, person after person after person, like, it ain't like, oh, we just, like, y'all treated a Kardashian or a Jenner. All right, I hit that. Next week you can have her. We're talking about an hour's time.
I don't know.
Did she say Kardashian?
I don't know, Bunny. That may have happened.
Did she say Kardashian?
I want to say that may have happened, Bunny, for real.
Because you do know that Devin Booker is still dating Kendall Jenner.
I mean, I guess they say her results, you can see how they playing, so I guess it works, huh?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The equation works. The
I don't
math
know.
is there.
Maybe the Nets
say that now.
Maybe the Nets may call her up next.
And I don't get why she come out and say it again. She trying to get a credit. She want to get the MVP.
She trying to get
she
the
want to get a
MVM.
championship ring if they win.
No,
Because there's probably other
MVH.
women that's doing this too.
No, MVM.
But they're not coming out publicly. What makes her want to come out?
Either one is great.
Either one.
MVO.
Oh Lord. Real quick, let's talk about more
MVNGR. All right, I'm done.
Right. Let's talk about more basketball real quick. And actually, before we do that,
I told y'all that was going. I told y'all it wasn't gonna happen. The Nets this, the Nets that, the Nets nothing.
so before we even get more to basketball in these series, Joe, did you want to stay on or did you want to go ahead and hop on off? We want to hold you up too long.
I gotta go to the bathroom, so I'm gonna hop off. And
Keep it real, Joe.
Look, that's what I just
Appreciate
did.
the
I just hop off quietly. That's what I just did. Like,
we do that a lot more now. And also,
Right.
I'll be silent this whole time with basketball. I just know I like Trae Young, so he's a cool guy.
There we
And
go.
you're not gonna talk about him being bald headed, are you? But they talking about this girl in her hair and how she look as a track athlete. But nobody.
Hey, man.
We don't talk about what these men.
Hey.
KD too, LeBron too.
I just
bald
did.
and ain't giving it up.
We'll save that for the next ladies' night.
There you go.
There you go.
Nice
Young
way to
ballin' too. I don't
promote
know
that,
what's
Joe.
going
I
on
like
with-
that.
I don't know what Trae Young.
See,
is
Joe
doing.
got the hang of this sports talk thing now. She got the whole little segue and leading up to this and that. I like it, Joe.
Yes. But all right, I'll let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of the show. Enjoy your night. Again, Bunny, congrats.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, Joe.
All right,
have a
you guys
good one.
night. You too.
All right, you too.
Bye, Joe.
All right, that was Joe. Once again, this is the Platform Sports Talk Show. This has been incredible. I am your boy Smooth,
Good
along
evening.
with
Stanton, baby.
and Bunny. We can't hear you. You on mute.
My bad. Wrong button. Now can you hear me?
There we go. Now, what were you
Hello?
saying?
Okay.
What were you saying, Bunny?
When you talk about the NBA, oh shoot, damn. Stan, what's the last thing you just said? The NBA. Oh, everybody talking about the Nets. If that was healthy, clearly it'd be a different storyline. Y'all know that.
No, it wouldn't. Everybody wants to put a if. Okay. If the Lakers were healthy, they'd still be in it. But don't nobody want to say that for them? Be like, yeah, the Suns just won. They the better team. They did what they supposed to do. They was the number 1 seed.
All right,
Or number 2 seed. Excuse me. Are they? Yeah, the number. No.
Who?
The Suns were number 1, right?
No,
they're number 2.
Number 2 seed. Yeah.
Yeah, the number 2 seed. Okay. All right. So what? We about to the Sun. Hey, Hey, these Suns are doing something incredible.
And as you see on the screen, we do have the whole bracket. Right now, the fifth seed Hawks are facing the third seed Bucks. Second seed Suns are up 2-0 against the fourth seed Clippers. That game last night, once again, incredible ending.
Shout out to Patrick Beverly for looking dumb as hell.
Man.
That boy was talking all.
Which way? Having blood on his jersey or
No, when he was talking mess.
messing up
When he was talking mess
last
to Devin Booker, he was trying to talk mess to Devin Booker, and Devin Booker
he
had
got
that
bloody nose
stone cold reaction, man. That boy truly is living up to the hype. We'll get to that.
Now, Stanley, that's not true. When the Hawks were in St. Louis, they won a championship. He says what he appreciated this year is that the first year in a long time in which none. Well, he said in a long time, so never mind.
Okay.
In which none of the teams
the
playing
Bucks
have ever won a championship. So he said in a long time, but he then at the end he said have ever won.
The Bucks
so
got
the
one.
Hawks did win one back in the day, and the Bucks did win one as well. So there goes that. But yes, it is good just to see some great basketball without having your usual. Of course, the Golden State or seeing LeBron.
I was about to say that's the only constant. It's been
that's
LeBron.
the main thing right there.
You gonna see that brother in the finals appearance somewhere. He had 1 year off because he got injured.
But it's the first time in 10 years, I believe they said that you didn't see either LeBron or
well, think about
Golden
it.
State.
When he first came to the Lakers, he was injured, and they didn't go to the playoffs.
Yeah, it's only when he's injured that they don't make it.
So I mean, we've seen a few recently in the last few years. We've seen some playoffs or some finals without LeBron. So,
who are y'all going for in these series between the Hawks and the Bucks?
I don't care because I had the Nets going, so I don't care. I'm going on the West. I want my boy CP3 to finally get a ring. He's still not getting his props like he should.
Well, I'm not saying overall.
Shannon Sharp had a note to say he came.
I'm not saying overall, but just from a basketball standpoint, who do you see winning this Hawks and Bucks series?
Neither one of them excite me, but I can see, I guess, the Bucks pulling it off finally.
I don't know, man, because you're talking about from a basketball standpoint. I'm watching the basketball, and though they're starting to score now, it was a lot of empty shots in that first quarter. So I don't know who's. I don't know.
It's still a filling out process.
Honestly, it shows y'all the Eastern Conference before the playoffs started. We always say how the Eastern Conference was weaker, even when the big three, when Harden and KD, Kyrie got together. We still thought it was going to be it seemed like an easier path compared to the West because there's so many more competitive teams. But right now, what we're seeing in the conference finals, it's just not the best teams to me. Now, of course, because of injuries is what we got, but I'm seeing how Philly lost that against the Hawks, and I'm like, this is the Hawks. I'm not taking away from Trae Young. Nate McMillan's a good coach. I'm not taking away their talent, but how if you're looking at basketball, not just for entertainment, but looking how they run their X's and O's, clearly, I'm like, this is just not the best we can get. Because I'm tired, honestly, of seeing too many one-on-ones with Trae Young. Get it, a regular basketball fan, excite me, shoot, make your shot. But I'm like, the same every time you come down the court. If Trae Young ain't trying to pop a three, he may dish it off to somebody and come back to him. Like, that's getting old to me. And that, again, made too much of a basketball fan, but I'm not entertained. I like team ball. I want to see more than one person. Granted, people like, the superstars, quote unquote, people may say ball hogs or they had a ball in their hand all the time. That is correct. But it's more than one of them that's still getting the touches and getting the points. Like when we talk about the Nets big three, was Harden not the only one touching the ball? With the Rockets, he was. Excluding when Russ or CP was there. But now, when he was with the Nets, KD touched the ball a lot. Kyrie was when he was healthy. I just want to see a rotation. I don't want to keep seeing the same player come down the court and keep doing the same thing. Even with the Suns, you don't see Booker does it, but not as much. Like, definitely Monty coach is different from McMillan. And he is definitely doing team ball, and I think that's part of their success. They are rotating. They are a skip pack. They doing the stuff of team ball more than I'm seeing with the Hawks. The Milwaukee Bucks, nah. Because, again, Giannis, even Embiid, to be some big men, they're truly not the dominant person like they could be. And I don't know if that's just their potential. That's how far they can go. and that could be exciting to dunk and all. But when I see skills like good jump shot, good move, and then boom, got you, I'm not seeing it. Now, like I said, Trey can do that sometimes, but it's just like, okay, this is the same story every time. Like, y'all do something different. Damn.
Stanley says the Bucks won with Lou Alcindor. That's how long ago it's been. Only people my father's age who turned 71 today, happy birthday, remembers the St. Louis Hawks. That doesn't count. Hey, a championship is a championship.
It's hanging in a banner wherever they put the banner.
Right.
If they had, did they do banners back then? They did banners back then. It's somewhere here.
Yep.
I know it better not be in Atlanta.
Gino, I don't care if it's from the 50s,
It counts.
It counts, Gino. And you got to give a shout out to Lenny Wilkins, because Lenny Wilkins was on the squad, and he was dope back then. And he's a good coach now, so you got to give it to him.
Yeah.
You will address Lou Alcindor by his official name. He don't go by that no more.
Let's talk
Look,
about
I don't care if it was only 6 teams in the league back then. When they won that championship, it counts. They beat out other teams to be the best, so.
Yep.
Let's talk about the other side. Clippers, Suns.
Suns get it done.
And all this without CP3 playing.
Yeah.
Of course, Kawhi ain't playing either for the Clippers.
And that's what I'm afraid to see. Like when he comes back.
So are you standing firm on your
when he come back, how the chemistry gonna be?
Oh yeah, Ty Lue is still an incredible coach. Oh yeah.
Really?
I got an
yes.
alert while we
He's
had the
doing
show
the same
that
thing
probably he'll be there for game 3.
No,
No, he's not because he don't have his best player, so he's not doing the same thing. Paul PG ain't his best player. You know that.
Okay, but he's still a superstar, ain't he?
What was
the
he's
argument?
not LeBron.
No.
He's not LeBron.
You didn't say LeBron. You said superstar.
Exactly.
Do I have to bring up that? So PG ain't a
PG-13
superstar?
ain't a superstar. No, not in the same rank as LeBron or Kawhi. Bunny, am I correct?
It doesn't matter the rank.
No,
it doesn't matter
yes,
the rank.
it does.
No,
Yes, it
because
does.
that's not what you said.
Yes, it was.
You said a superstar.
Exactly. I didn't put PG-13 in that role of superstar. You know, like I said this a while back.
It like PG-13
No.
can't get.
I said this a while back. How many times have I broke this down, Bunny, in regards to tiers? You have your LeBrons, you have your KDs, you have I'll keep it right there. Oh, Steph Curry. Next rank, you're gonna probably have your Giannis, Kawhi right there, whoever's coming up. PG-13 is probably like that 3rd or 4th tier. He is not nowhere near the same tier as LeBron James. So when I say about Ty Lue having superstars, you know I'm referring to when he had LeBron James on the Cavaliers. Paul George, is nowhere near the class of LeBron James.
And
that's what I'm referring to.
So if you're a great coach, you'll be able to work with that. He's not at that tier, but he's still a star.
And like I said before,
and if he can make it work
and
with
like
a lesser
I said
coach in
before,
Indiana, then this should be a cakewalk for Ty Lue if he's
no,
that great, right? No,
not with
why not?
Paul George. Like I said before, name a coach who won a championship without having that elite superstar player.
At that time, Steph Curry was coming into
We
his
may put it
own.
off
He was
college,
still
but not on a
elite.
professional level.
Now
Who?
you know he was more elite. Say what'd you say, Bunny? She has a delay. Bunny, can you hear us?
I'm having a problem with my sound. Sounds real muffled. Repeat your question.
No, we're trying to make sure that you heard what we said, and we want to make sure that we heard what you were saying earlier. Yeah, you could be having a connection issue.
So what I need to do? Hang up and come back? It sound almost.
Yeah, go ahead and hang up and come back. All right, sorry about that, y'all. We having little issues with her connection, so we're going to make sure that we get her in all the way. But no, that's what I'm just saying, is that Ty Lue is at his best when he has. If Kawhi Leonard was playing, then yeah, but Paul George is not in the same.
Ty Lue is at his best when he has a superstar player?
Like all coaches, yes.
So what makes Ty Lue so different? His opportunities. That's all.
No, because he had so many other coaches had opportunity to go to the Clippers, but they knew that he was someone who would, like I said before, make adjustments, talk to your superstar players, and put them in better positions to play. What he did with the Clippers only took 1 year. And Doc Rivers being with that team, and he had Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, all them guys, and he couldn't get them past the second round in 8 years. But it took Ty Lue 1 year, and without having Kawhi Leonard playing the last 2 games. How did that not say he's a great college?
He's down 0-2. Smooth.
I'm talking about the previous series. Think back of how he got to the current series he's in right now.
Who they play in this last series?
The Clippers.
Yeah.
They played. Let's pull it back up. Oh, the Jazz. The number 1 seeded Jazz.
Okay, so they played.
Had
Jazz,
the best
defeated
record
the Jazz.
in the whole rest of the conference. Now, granted, Mike Conley, he only played 1 game, but still, like I said before, he didn't hurt them guys. You still got to coach. You still got to do your thing. Let's see, Bunny, you still hearing a lot of static on your end. Let's see. Sorry about that, everyone. We're trying to make sure that her sound is good. Can you hear us, Bunny?
I can, but it's still low for the again. And a lot of static. I don't know what else to do.
Okay, now you much better now.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you all now.
Okay. Let me make sure. Double checking. Are you good over there, Bunny? Yeah. Sorry about that, everyone. Still having some connection issues. Hopefully we can get that settled. But hopefully you are enjoying the platform, Sports Talk Show. Once again, this has been an incredible show. A lot of good topics that we've been discussing. Having the legend Mike Claiborne on the show, having his story be told.
It's funny. We just talked about Manfred and how we were talking about the enforcing of this.
Ain't talking about it's going
substance
well.
credit. It's going well.
Really. The lies.
We hate it. Hey, it's going well.
The blatant lies. And that's been the issue, too. And Joe has been saying it for the longest time. Manfred is probably the problem because of how he is handling things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he needs to go into the school of Adam Silver or something. Learn something, because what you're doing is not it. It was to a point that I think in the off season, people were hoping that Adam Silver would leave the NBA to go take on either Major League Baseball or the NFL.
That's just because people are hopeful and stupid.
So you're trying to wait on Bunny to get on back here. As Ms. Williams says, before any of you were born, in regards to Lou Alcindor. Yeah, we be born, thought of, anything. Anything.
My brother really typed in Lou Alcindor. Call him what he is.
And shouts out to Adidas, because they recently came out with a shoe honoring Kareem. So that's pretty dope. Going back to NBA real quick, I think the Hawks are currently down against the Bucks.
Let me just ask this question, and then we can go about our business. You're probably gonna put an asterisk next to it because Kawhi ain't playing.
Oh, here we go.
But if Kawhi comes back and this sweep happens, then what?
You said a sweep?
This sweep happens, then what?
The best team won.
But then he's still gonna be a top coach for taking it one level past what Doc did.
You would think that he would lose his spot because he lost in the Western Conference
I wasn't
Finals?
saying he's losing his spot as a coach. I'm saying in your eyes, how you have him ranked.
Mm-hmm.
If Kawhi comes back, they get swept. Is he still a top coach?
Yeah.
Like you still holding this man this high?
I would take him definitely over Doc Rivers.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I ain't going to back down. No, like I said, look at the record. Look at his history. Look at what he's done.
I'll name Doc Rivers. That Celtics team back then. Oh my God, they were all on the other end. Because after they won that championship, what happened? Careers just went down.
Yeah.
Ray left. Dear God, we don't need to talk about the
but Ray Lewis, Ray Allen.
Wait a minute.
He was still the marksman when he left Boston. Look at what he did with Miami.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
But he's still
Paul Pierce. He was still elite.
okay. So are you? So you're saying that
not LeBron elite. Let me break that down.
Okay, so
you know,
cool. So there's the coach. There you go. The same man you talking about was the same man that did it.
So are you trying to compare
against Kobe?
Garnett?
Against Kobe.
Okay, right.
Yes, Garnett was on the other side.
So what team was
Pierce
better?
was on the other side.
So what team was better then? The Lakers, Kobe, that Doc Rivers team won, or Golden State's team that Ty Lue came back down 3-1? What team was better, Golden State or the Lakers?
The Golden State team.
Thank you. And who coached against Golden State?
LeBron. Tell the truth. Hold on. No. Let's talk about. So you gonna sit here and tell me, boy? We can pull up the tape.
You just gave me one fact. I gave you a better fact.
All right, cool. We bringing up facts.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, pull up more than an athlete. That last episode discussing the 3-1 deficit. Well, LeBron was taking over. Ty Lue was just there. We know that. We know that. We said that on this show. Come on now. Run it back.
Oh my God.
Run the tape. We have said this.
You look at one little piece.
Run the tape. Run the tape. Run it back. You got it on your memory card. Run it back. Wait,
man.
You got to get the old laptop for that one.
Right, yeah.
Run it back. Boot it up.
The one that ain't worked probably in like 5
5
months.
That you ain't got no more? Oh, damn.
Oh, no, it's over there chilling.
Get the hard drive off of it. Boot it up. Hook it up.
Nah, people gonna always say LeBron. They saying it now with Frank Vogel. No matter what team LeBron on, they gonna say he the coach. In which, in general, they gonna say that. Or he the GM. Of course.
I don't know, because when LeBron was injured, he wasn't even. Well, he was there.
Who?
So, like, LeBron, like he would be there, but I didn't see him doing all this coaching that he would usually do. I feel like as he's getting older, he's dialing that back. I think he's losing the patience for that.
And then plus he's getting older so he don't have the energy that he.
That's what I was.
You know what I'm saying?
He
so
can't do this.
Yeah, but I mean, when he was in that that time frame with Cleveland, it wasn't no old man. Here he comes. He's getting old. He was still looking good. He may not have been the same in regards to the moves that he had in Miami or the early Cleveland days, but it wasn't to the fact or to the point where he's at now with the Lakers as he was with the Cavaliers coming back. But great debate.
I'm gonna say this.
Hold on.
You put any team,
Okay,
you put any coach in there. Mark Jackson. Matter of fact, yes, Mark Jackson. So Steph was not an elite player when Mark Jackson was around. Is that what you're saying? Because it was only a year difference. What a difference a year makes.
I mean,
one.
He was already an all-star. When I say he was in the,
it's a lot of all-stars.
When I say he was in the LeBron class, not yet. But him winning that ring that next year, and then him consistently doing that year after year after that, that's how he got to that level. So Mark Jackson did have a superstar, but it wasn't to that elite level like it is now after winning. I would say that. What is that noise? But it's outside.
I'm so like
some dog getting hurt or something outside.
So okay, I heard it that
outside.
time.
But now it's unfortunate because Mark Jackson, as we already know, he should have been given another opportunity, but I don't think it's gonna happen. It's just been too many years, and it's just one of them what we say blackball situations. Yeah, it looks like Bunny's having some issues still, so she's not back, but we still here. A few more things I want to go ahead and bring up before we go ahead and end our show. They did announce recently Team USA.
They did.
And we have it on your screen now. These guys, unless anything changes last second, will be representing Team USA. Durant, Damian Lillard, Bradley Beal, St. Louis' own Bradley Beal, and Jason Tatum, Devin Booker. That may change depending on if they go further in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Your boy.
Because, CP3 turned it down.
Yeah. Your boy.
Yeah.
Zach LaVine.
Nah, he my boy for now. I gotta see this offseason now.
So it may change.
I mean, I still got love him. I've been a fan of him since the Minnesota days. But, it's like,
Miss Williams says, gotta go, folks. Great show. Thank you very much, Miss Williams.
See you later, Miss Williams. It's always a pleasure.
Bam, out of Bayou. The one I'm surprised is Kevin Love. I'm like, unless somebody else just didn't take it. But it's like,
Kevin Love's like, Okay.
Can I join? I'll do it. I ain't got nothing to do.
Put me in, coach. I want to play.
Draymond Green. Lord, what's his name?
Drew.
Thank you. What's his last
Drew
name?
Holiday.
Thank you, Drew Holiday.
Chris
I don't know
Middleton.
why I lost his name all of a sudden. Chris Middleton and Jeremy Grant from the Pistons.
Oh, okay.
So, like I said, with the Drew and
Hey. It ain't happening. This shit.
it ain't happening.
It ain't happening.
So just say that they ain't going forward. Okay.
It ain't happening. It ain't. Look, and looking at this team, it ain't happening. No disrespect to those are some great players. Like I really hate that in the year that Tatum gets to go, it's gonna have to go like this. It's like your leader is Durant. That's your leader. Oh my God, Draymond better be the leader. If Draymond is the leader, you got a chance. If KD is your leader, he's leaving with 7 minutes in the third quarter.
But you still have Damian Lillard too. Oh wow, that look right there. You don't trust Dame to lead the team?
He can't lead his own.
Ooh, he's gonna have better talent though.
He can't lead his own.
Ooh, woo.
Hold on. You want to talk about better talent? Let me take you back to the 2004 NBA Finals. LeBron and them. Can't name another person from that. Was Larry Hughes still up? He wasn't even LeBron and them.
Interesting take. Okay. Let's see here. What else do we have here?
Was that 2004? Spurs and Cavs? No, that was. Oh shit! Who was that? Ugh.
I want to say you was right, but
Was it 04? Somebody help me. Was it
right. For those watching, let us know when did the Cavaliers. We'll go on Google real quick and put it up. But while you're doing that, some more news. The Globetrotters
That
sent in a letter to Adam Silver and the NBA saying they want to be a franchise.
Now, let me tell you something. You try that trick stuff against the wrong team, boy. You thought the Palace was bad.
Well, see, this is where people are not fully understanding. So yeah, of course they do have.
They
a certain squad, right? Like you said, trick passes. But no, they be having some straight
they got
ballers.
some ballers on there. Like they be trick passing, but they'll still give you a smooth 15, 10, and 7. Like they'll give you a good one.
Yeah, they feel like they have the adequate talent to match what's going on right now in the NBA. And then of course, if they get added on as an expansion team, they still have to go by the expansion rules.
That was 2007.
2007.
Oh, wow.
The Cavs and the Spurs?
Yep.
Dang. But, you still have to go through the expansion draft in which every team has to give up, a player. They have to have a certain guy unprotected.
Mm-hmm.
So they still will, get some guys.
Metal Arc Lemon got to go.
Will Chamberlain. Curly O'Neal.
Wow.
I take it back. But yeah, so very interesting. But I think overall people are probably seeing that as a joke.
I don't know, man. Look, I just got to see some video evidence. If they in there putting in the work trying to really join this illustrious league, then I say give them a chance. But if the league eat them up and spit them out, then that's a wrap. And
going back to the Brooklyn Nets real quick, former assistant coach Ime Udoka is now the new Boston Celtics head coach.
Wasn't we joking about this?
Yep.
We was joking about black. They took it a step further. Like, oh, not only is he gonna be black,
he came from Wakanda.
Black. He got an authentic stamp on the back of his heel. This is 100% authentic. Wow. We just. Hey, end the show. We about to get flagged. It's coming. They've been waiting. Oh my God. We about to get flagged, y'all. We love y'all. We'll see y'all in how long they be blocking accounts? 72. 72 weeks. We'll be back 2022. Ready to take on a new level of ignorance. Look, as long as we here, YouTube will forever be ready to pull the card. And let me tell you something. YouTube, I wish the hell you... No, let me shut up.
Right.
They might grant that. Like, wait, I'm sorry. I'm playing.
So the last topic I want to discuss, something that you wanted to bring up earlier.
Yes. And you know what? After last night, after it wasn't the game. It was his response to Patrick Beverly. After that, it
Please bring it up. What are we referring to?
Stephen A. with the cosign of one Magic Johnson. You might have heard of him.
Some guy from LA.
Some guy from LA, which is fitting that he's from there. Stephen A. went on to proclaim that Devin Booker is the next Kobe Bryant, or the new Kobe, or the next. There will be no. He's the Kobe Bryant of this time. And honestly, when I first heard it, I was like, what do you mean? But then I got to talking about it, and I was like, well, they did train together. You know, they worked together. He was one of the many young athletes that Kobe kept in touch with, always looked out for him. I saw it last night. When Pat Beverly was talking all his trash, and Devin Booker walked clean past. It was the way he walked. I looking at him walk, I was like, oh, that's Kobe. That's Kobe right there. That was scary. That was scary. So I can say I see it happening. It's in progress. I'll say that. Unfortunately, I really wish that we would have had just to see that build. That Devin Booker probably has it most out of all those who, like, you know, other people have certain things like the ability to score, all that things, to playmaking, all that. But when you look at Devin Booker, I feel after last night, that was the last thing I needed to see. That was the last piece of the puzzle. That's the Mamba puzzle right there.
That's it.
I'm like, oh, that was it. You might as well just go and stamp the label on
it. It reminds me of, remember that series when the Lakers faced, well, I'm not sure if it was in the finals, but when the Orlando Magic faced the Lakers. And
Matt Barnes. I think that was just a regular game.
He was like faking the ball, trying to like
right in his face, and
they
said it hit Kobe on the nose too.
And Kobe was still
Kobe was
chill,
like
stone face. It's like
that's that mentality,
me.
man.
Yeah.
That's scary.
And then for Booker to pull up last night before, like around 20 seconds left to go in the game, he pulled up on the free throw line and made that shot right there. Just the way he made that shot was like
it's
Kobe-esque.
Scary, but I love it.
Yeah, you know, just the calm demeanor, pulled up about 20.
That boy got
feet.
a broke nose, fam.
Right.
You know he probably gonna be out there in a mask. Now that's gonna be the one. If he drops a masked Kobe game,
watch out.
That's it, man.
Watch out.
That's why I can confidently say I think these clips about to get swept.
And it can definitely happen. And then, like I said, CP3, word is today that he's cleared.
Oh, that's a sweep. That's a sweep. Unless they announce before the next game that Kawhi is cleared, it's still a sweep. It's just going to be a hard-earned sweep.
All right, y'all. Well, this has been our show. Once again, we started early.
Yes, we did.
But we got it in. Great conversations. Bunny is, I guess, still having her issues, but she will be back next week.
Yeah.
So will yours truly, and
Stand, baby.
Shouts out to Joe. Great job this evening. To Mike Claiborne. Thank you very much for taking time out of your day to be on our show. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, follow on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Go on YouTube, subscribe, click on that. Because anytime we go live,
you will be notified.
Stay tuned for our next guest next week. This should be another good one. And it's the Platform Sports Talk Show. Your boy Smoooth.
Stand, baby.
When it's about sports,
it becomes our business. I just knocked my headphones out here. And business just picked up.
We out, ride. We out.